Last week, as I entered the door to the sanctuary, I encountered our pastor with broom and dustpan in hand. This morning, as we pulled into the parking lot, there again was our pastor with glistening brow, staking the church signs in the ground beneath the oppressive Texas sun. What a privilege to witness servant leadership in action, knowing the heart behind it. It is being more deeply impressed upon me that the servant prefix ought to accompany all titles, assuming it is genuinely rooted in the heart. This ought to be the case all the more regarding Christian leadership. This certainly does not mean that a pastor that delegates many of the daily and administrative tasks is a tyrant, for that is actually a biblical precept. If there are tasks that infringe upon the fundamental duties of labor in the Word, those indeed ought to be delegated elsewhere. Yet the heart of the issue is the heart of the Christian. We may begrudgingly do every task before us, yet service without the sacrifice of praise and contrite heart will yield little in the way of spiritual significance. The Christian leader's heart indeed needs to be established primarily in the duties of their calling, but they ought never think the more menial tasks far beneath them. Indeed, the flock is exhorted to serve that God's order for the body may be appropriate, as the pastor ought not appear as Atlas, buckling beneath the overwhelming weight of the spiritual globe. Therein lays the crux of servant leadership. Genuine and contrite hearts, from the leadership to the humble congregant, provide the surest foundation for His order and will to be carried out. With humility comes the submissive flexibility that would lead all to yield to whatever the Lord may instruct. Whether the mandate is to wield a mop, or to toil tirelessly over sermon preparation, or to travel to the furthest points of the globe as a steward of the gospel, nothing ought to be off limits for the servant leader. Fundamentally, we all ought to seek to be like Christ, as the Scripture says that He came to be our example. Provided the calling is genuine, the burden of leadership dictates that others are called to follow. A humble leader promotes humble followers. A long-suffering superior promotes a long-suffering subordinate. A shepherd willing to go wherever the Lord may call will produce a flock that will respond likewise. Indeed, the facets of humanity dictate that complications, trials, and difficulties will dot the avenues of this pilgrimage. Spurgeon states, "Even the most ardent Christian may find themselves fearful, troubled, and vexed by temporal cares. They may at times find their faith to be quite weak. Yet the consolation of Christ provides the long-suffering to faithfully complete the race. It is the leader that will endure such seasons of spiritual drought via the unwavering commitment to Abba's all-sufficiency and trust in the assurances yet to be seen that may be the most effective tool of the Almighty. It is the leader that will not recoil at the command to wash the filthiest feet so as to sow incorruptible seed that will indeed receive the words we all wish to hear upon our heavenly homecoming. It is my conclusion that the prefix of servant, if genuinely applied beyond mere title, would be the most welcome catalyst to revival within as well as outwardly. Before you are a leader, before you are an authority, before you are a notable name, be a servant. From that foundation the Lord will surely build up, consecrate, and mightily use such a worthy vessel to His sovereign calling.